So what is the spiraling energy body Qigong set?
The spiraling energy body is the fire element Neigong in the system of Bruce Francis, and it is the portion of the system that uses things like the microcosmic orbit, spiraling, going upward, dissolving outside yourself. These different components all in some way relate to the fire element. So we start off with sort of just looking at the grand scheme of the system. You have this 5-element pattern. And so you have water, fire, wood, metal, and earth.
Now, in the old days, I remember reading an article that describes you begin with opening the energy gates, and then the second set is the spiraling energy body training, so that then you have the downward and upward sort of linked together. But later, he decided to move the spiraling set down in the system, kind of make it more advanced and further down the list of trainings.
Yeah, that's just because it's a more difficult training. I mean, the physical, well, we'll get into this later, but the physical aspects of it are just more demanding, and that can sort of fry people basically if they're not ready for it. But just so getting into the idea of, if you have a 5-element system, and we'll keep it vague to start with, that you're going to follow, this pattern of water to fire to wood to metal to earth. And that's just kind of how you develop your internal organs. You develop your sensitivity to different Neigongs and other like layers of energy inside your body. So what spiraling energy body does is it's taking that sense of sinking and dropping and releasing that you did in opening the energy gates, and it's continuing with that to a more complex and complete way of dealing with the world, right? So if you think about the standing in opening the energy gates, it's all done generally with your eyes closed and your hands at your side.
Right.
So you're sort of got this inward focus, right? Where all the standing done in spiraling energy body is done with your arms up in the air and your eyes open. Mm-hmm. And so there's an assumption there that, what you're doing is you're learning how to maintain, this Neigong when you start dealing with the outside world.